Hi, my name is Greg from Pringles, and I'm making this video to give you a better idea of what the trucks are that we offer these days. We've got our stainless steel truck here. This is a truck we've been building for a couple of years, and then we've got our new aluminum style truck over here. This is actually a first of its kind. This truck is actually, this is an exciting little project that we did here. We've got a customer in New Jersey that has to stay under 10,000 pounds. And he really wanted to see us build something a little bigger than our competitor who builds a truck like this, and something that offered a little more storage because he plans on using this for commercial work. And this truck is, like I said, it was exciting. It was also nerve-wracking, and in the end, it came out exceedingly well. We're very happy with it. We're sure you will be too. And so we're going to be starting to offer these. It's really. It came out even better than we thought. We've worked with aluminum in the past. Our big back doors on our original Pringles were made out of 63 thousandths aluminum. This truck's made out of 190 thousandths aluminum. Everything you see here is 190 thousandths with the exception of the skirting. The skirting doesn't support anything or anything like that. All it does is hide the ugliness of the chassis. So didn't see the need in making it strong. And the nice thing is, if you ever damage this, you can easily just unbolt these and give us a call and we'll send them out. We'll send you out a new one. So anyway, that's kind of nice. But aluminum, it really came out well. This truck is actually very strong, as opposed to our stainless steel truck. This truck is actually very heavy duty. If you stand on top of it, it feels substantial. You don't feel like it's no flex to it at all. Really, it really is durable. So let me get into some of the features. If you want to come on over here. Now, a couple of the differences between this truck and that truck. One difference is the fan. This is the fan for our old truck, or for these trucks, and it's the same fan that's been in our trucks for many, many years. A 41-inch fan. It's a shrouded fan as opposed to just a open face centrifugal blower. By shrouding it, it actually raises the static pressure of your fan. So these fans really are durable. The only place that we've had any issues with these fans over the years is right here. Occasionally what we would find right here where the blade is welded to the front panel here, or the front shroud, they would crack. So what we did is we put a nice reinforcement here. Ever since we put that on, we haven't had one fail yet. So, but the nice thing about static pressure, by having this there, it forces the air to go through the fan housing, or through the fan, instead of, with this blade, and a normal truck, you just have the front of the fan housing here. So when there's more restriction to the air, what happens is the air is allowed to flow over the edge of that fan blade, and then you don't get, basically it just allows the air to go somewhere else when it really needs to be going through the fan. So it really is a great design. We've been building these for years, and with the exception of that crack, we haven't had any issues. And plus, it just moves a lot of air. Everything is really compared to a Pringle fan. It really is. So anyway, and now this fan is 41 inches. On this truck, it's a 30-inch fan. Now this one only spun at about 1350 RPMs. This one spins at between 1800 and 2000 RPMs. So it gets the same vacuum as this one does, only at a higher speed. But at 30 inches, we think it'll do real well. Now, everything on this truck is aluminum with the exception of a couple of things. You got your stainless steel square tubing underneath the truck as kind of a base to build the truck on. And then you've got this ladder. This ladder is actually steel. You've got, we just couldn't find a ladder rung material that was this narrow and stainless, so we had to make it out of steel, unfortunately. But the good thing is, this ladder, just like the rest of the truck, is powder coated instead of painted. Now paint tends to chip. If you hit it, you ding it with something, it tends to chip. Whereas the powder coat just kind of dings it or puts like a little gouge in it, but it doesn't chip the paint away. So we think you'll really like that. It's nice because this truck being bolted together, you can do that. Now on normal trucks, you just can't powder coat that entire truck. So anyway, we think you'll really like that about it. Plus the other good thing is, by bolting it together and having these powder coated beforehand, there is a coating in between each panel. So on our traditional air duct cleaning trucks, we would have to spray stuff on there, but you would weld it, and what would happen is it just wouldn't, just didn't protect it like having an actual powder coat in between the two panels. So we think that's really a winner. Now all your hinges here are heavy duty. You're never gonna have to replace these hinges. At least I would be shocked if you did. They're stainless steel. All the bolts are stainless steel. Everything on the outside here is stainless steel if it's not aluminum. So anyway, you get in here. Now if you look in here, you're gonna find this to be very accommodating. You can fit a lot of hose in here. You know, not only can you fit a lot of hose in here, but we've also added this drop down here, so you can actually drop down into the skirting and get even more hose in here. We tried to maximize the space in this truck as much as we possibly could. It's got all LED lighting. This is LED lighting here, and we've got LED strips on the inside, and I can show you a better picture of those as we move forward to the front cabins. But we think you'll really like this. Now, all of our trucks, we offer the suction inlet tee, and it actually is a standard. It's not really an option, it's standard. If for some reason you want to, you know, remove that and just, you know, attach your suction hose to that fan housing, let us know. We'll leave all that out of it, and you know, that's fine with us. I can't imagine too many people like that because you have to climb over your hose just to be able to attach your suction hose. But if that's what you want, let us know. You know, there is some benefit to it by going directly to it. You could get a little bit more suction. I don't think it's going to be a lot, so that's why I think, you know, just have the suction inlet tee and you'll be happy with that. So now, one thing everybody always asks when they first see this truck, they're like, "Ah, are you sure you got enough bolts?" Well, we didn't want to find out we didn't have enough. So yes, this truck has a lot of bolts. I want to say it's got about 600 bolts in it. And you know, we used galvanized bolts. It's a hot dip galvanized. You know, between stainless and aluminum, if they're exposed to each other, and you add water and salt, you know, you can get some corrosion between the two. So with the galvanized, you don't get any. So that's why we decided to go that way. All these bolts here are double nutted, but in the future we'll probably just do nylocks. In case you do see the double nuts, it will be nylocks in the future. Anyway, you can see this stainless steel support structure that we have in here, and there's also stainless steel support structure underneath. So it's very strong. You know, going down the road, this thing feels solid as a rock. Using it, running it, everything, it really is strong. So now with our doors, these doors, you know, our competitors use a door that's actually a box door, a sandwich door. So what happens is, you know, you build the door, and now you've got two panels, and in between those panels, you don't have any coating on there, or at least you don't have a coating that can actually protect it completely. So what happens is, you know, with that type of a door, water gets in between the two panels, and then it kind of rusts out down low. I've seen, you know, our competitors' trucks where they use a galvanized door. The galvanized coating does do a good job, but it's just not the same as actually coating it in totality after it's made. And that's what you're able to do with a door like this. So, you know, that's very strong, like I said, you know, 190 thousandths. It's very durable. You're not going to find this to be a flimsy door. But one of the good things about this is the seal that we're able to put in it. This is a hard rubber seal, and we press it in. This seal is going to be there forever. You know, over the years you might find a reason to replace it, but it just doesn't come out, stays in there, and they last a long, long time. And the good thing too is, you know, our competitors will put a seal on the door jamb, and what happens is over time, you know, you hit it and it gets torn, and the next thing you know, it's falling off and it's dangling in here, and then your guys are just ripping it off, and now you don't have any door seal to actually seal out the moisture. So we know you'll like that. It's a great feature, and not only is it good for the seal, but it's also good for anti-corrosion by not having a door that you can actually sandwich moisture in. So all of our doors also have these spring-loaded door latch, or spring-loaded door catches. And these spring-loaded door catches, you know, some companies will use a gas spring, and the bad thing about a gas spring is it gets open and it stops. And just stops immediately. Whereas with this, you know, being spring loaded the way it is, if you open it too hard, it's actually got some spring there, and say the wind catches it, there is a little bit of shock absorption there to keep it from just bam, and then possibly, you know, damaging this or damaging this or damaging the door. So, you know, it's really, we think it's the perfect setup for doors. We do use these whale tail latches. We can also use T-handles, but these whale tail latches are really heavy duty. They're solid. I mean, you put that in your hand, you really feel like you got something strong, and they really do last a long time, if not forever. So moving on. Come on out here. Now these trucks here, you're looking at this truck here. This customer wanted an 8-inch suction inlet. You know, we could do 8 or 10, you know, whatever you want. Either one's fine. Basically just push it in this, twist it, and there's your suction inlet. Like I said, it's 8-inch. If you want 10, you can do that, not a problem. Now this customer, if he ever wanted to sell it to somebody that wanted a 10-inch, all we got to do is replace this panel. And one nice thing about being in a bolt-in truck, you can literally just unbolt this panel, pull it off, put a new panel in there, and now you got a 10-inch suction inlet as opposed to an 8. Obviously, you have to replace the suction inlet as well, but you can do it. So now this truck, you do not have to get on top of it to stuff your bags. I love that feature myself. You know, I was just talking to a potential customer the other day in the Detroit area. They had somebody fall off their truck and actually hurt themselves pretty bad. So you won't have to get up. Now you will have to get up there if you want to get a ladder down, but you won't have to get up there to, you know, stuff bags. You won't even have to get up there to open the door. So all you got to do, pull these down, fold them off to the sides, and then you just got to push that door up in just a second here. And we'll have a prop rod. For right now, I'm just using this. Take that, push it up, and you're done. Okay. Now it's open, and say you're done with the job, and you want to go ahead and stuff your bags. So what we've got here, stainless steel ladder, as opposed to just a fold-down step. This is an actual ladder. It's very, very well made. This thing is made out of 11-gauge stainless steel square tubing. Your ladder rungs are also stainless steel, and this thing is really made well. You're not going to have to worry about somebody falling off this. It's got the bullet hole type ladder rung material on it. It feels very strong. You can feel confident that nothing's going to happen. So anyway, to get up, it's just this simple. Now, say, the nice thing about with this style, where you're up high enough that you can really reach all your bags, and you're going to find the same door and bags on the other side of the truck. The nice thing about being up here is you can really get up to your bags, and you can dump them as you go. So say you want to dump them out as you're doing it, as you're stuffing your bags. That way you know, some people will just throw their bags up on top, and the next thing you know, you find that they just start getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier because they're becoming full of dust and debris. The bad thing is that doesn't allow your bags to breathe, and if you can't let the air out of your bags, then it's not doing its job. That's because it's full of stuff. So, you know, just kind of dump them out as you go. Very easy to reach all these bags. I can reach all of them with ease and stuff them. And that allows them to eject all the stuff out of them. So, anyway, now this truck's not done. I've got this customer's going to get a whole bunch of custom stuff. So I wanted to make this video before we put all the custom moldings and shelves and all that in there. So that's why this truck is not finished, and one of the things that we are going to be installing, but we haven't yet, is just a strap to pull this down. Okay, so you reach out, grab a hold of this, and pull this down, and there you go. It's very easy to latch, and then to get down, very simple. When you're all done, just lift this up, push it in, fold that down, you're done. So we think you're going to love that. I know I do. I think everybody that's seen it really just thinks it's a great idea, and so you'll be happy with it. Now, with these trucks, as opposed to our old cleaning trucks, our old original Pringles, you don't have to rake all the dust and debris out of your dirt box. They've got these barrels in there. So when you're all done, you know, every week or so you might go ahead and dump these. All you got to do is unhook this, pull this up, and pull that barrel out of there. You will have to fold this down and get it out of the way, but pull that barrel out of there, take it over, dump it, put it back in. So much better than emptying those barrels. Trust me. I'm sure you'll agree. Or I should say, cleaning out the dirt box. This is so much easier, so much cleaner, because whenever you would do it, you know, you'd be raking all the stuff out, you'd have a mask on, your legs would be getting dirty, you're trying to get it into a garbage can. It was just a mess. This is so mess-free. You'll love it, I guarantee it. So anyway, now this truck does have, like I said, it's got, you're going to open the top doors, and there's top doors on both sides. That's because there's 2 dirt boxes. So there's 2 of these barrels. Now this barrel's 30 gallon, on the other side is 16 gallon, and I'm going to show you why here in just a moment. Now if you want to come on over here. So inside here, like I said, we're still working, so you'll see some stuff here, but in here you're going to see there's 2 dirt boxes. You've got a dirt box here and a dirt box on the other side. What happens is the dust and debris goes through the fan, goes up into this dirt box, and then you've got that hose there that allows, you know, dust and debris to go from this side to that side. So the majority of the dust and debris is going to come to this side, and that's why we've got a bigger barrel on this side of the truck. Now, one thing that we saw with this this design, or with our competitor's design, they basically had a fan housing where the dust and debris would go from the fan housing through a hose on up to the dirt box. And we see that as a potential problem. Over the years, we've always done a lot of insulation removal, and what will happen with that insulation is we would run a hose from our truck over to a dumpster, and the dust and debris coming off of that fan would hit that hose, and it would put holes in it. So that's why we decided to go ahead and make sure that our fan housing actually protrudes into the dirt box. Now, it's not attached to the dirt box in any way, it just protrudes into it. And then we have a hose that runs from the dirt box back over to the fan housing, and you can kind of see that hose back in there. But none of the dust and debris will hit the hose because it's actually behind the end of the hose. So we feel like we've avoided a potential problem that you might find with other trucks on the market. So now, another thing, we use Quincy compressors. Quincy compressors have always been the best. Quincy compressors are they're made to handle up to 500 psi. Most of your compressors on the market are only made to handle about 175 to 250 psi. Being that durable, you really find that these are the best compressors on the market, and you're not going to have to worry about, you know, repairing them a lot. I'm not going to say that it isn't going to be a possibility that you could have to repair that compressor, because anything's possible, but the reason we put them in there is to make sure that you've got a reliable compressor. Now, most people, you know, go up to about 200 psi, so this truck has a 200 psi air tank in it. We do offer a 300 psi air tank if you'd like. It's a little extra cost because the 300 psi tanks are not something you can easily just you know, buy off the rack. So let us know if you're you know, used to running over 200 psi. We'll be more than happy to put a different air tank in there for you. Under here is all your belts and pulleys and all that kind of stuff, and I'll get into how this truck is driven here in a moment, but everything's under here. You're not going to have to worry about somebody getting hurt by sticking their fingers in there or anything. If you need to check the oil on the compressor, it's right here, so it's easy to check. If you need to change the oil, pull the barrel out, you can easily change the oil back here. So it's very easy to get to. Now, if you need to drain your tank, you've got a drain right there. You got your air pressure gauge there. We don't have the hose for the control line yet, or the hose ran over the hose reel because we just put this hose reel in. And this is an electric Haney hose reel. These really are the best hose reels. You know, it can be put here. We can mount this in numerous places. Let us know where you want to mount it. Some customers like to have it mounted to the roof. Now, you couldn't mount it to the roof in this compartment, but you could mount it in the roof in the next compartment. So I'll show you that. Now, like I said, we're going to be adding some shelves, and that's what you're seeing here. We're working on that right now, but this compartment here is very accommodating. It's very big. You know, you're gonna have plenty of room to put portables in here, or ladders, or extra accessories, and I don't think you're gonna want for space in this truck. Even though it's under 10,000 pounds and it weighed in at right around 8,000, you're gonna have a lot of storage. You can see one of the ways we kept the weight down was by, you know, doing things like this, putting holes in this wall here. You also probably saw some holes in the wall back there, but those holes helped us to keep it light. But they did more than that. You know, that compartment there being, you know, where the compressor is, it allows the heat to get out of just that compartment, allows it to circulate throughout the entire truck. In case one of your employees accidentally leaves a door closed or something on a hot day, at least, you know, by the time they realize it, it won't be super hot in there. They should leave those doors open if it's really hot. But anyway, this truck here, I mean, this compartment here, like I said, very accommodating. As you can see, more stainless steel structure there as well. And our LED lights, like I said, it's LED light strips. And every light on this truck, whereas the tail lights, marker lights, LED interior lights, exterior lights, they're all LED, so they don't use much power. Actually, when we're building these, a lot of times we'll turn these lights on while we're building them. And the other day we left it on for 9 hours. Normally we attach battery cables to it, or I should say a battery charger to it. We forgot to attach it that day. At the end of the day, I went to turn it off, realized that it wasn't plugged in, and things started up like there was nothing ever happened. So, you know, that's a good feature. So, anyway, oh shoot. Okay, now one of the things I want to tell you about this truck. This truck is actually split shaft PTO driven. We were trying to keep this truck as light as possible so this customer could put as much stuff on it as possible. And split shaft PTO, what that means is it's PTO driven, but it has a box. So you've got the drive line coming off of the transmission, goes into this box, and then you've got another drive line going from the box back to the wheels. Well, that box there, in between there, there's a PTO attached to it. So what happens is, basically, to start the unit, you just disengage the wheels, so now no longer does the drive shaft that would turn the wheels, now it won't turn them, and now you engage the PTO, and instead of turning the wheels, it turns the PTO. It's a fascinating thing. You know, there's good things about it. Now, you know, if there's ever a PTO problem, it doesn't hurt the transmission. I mean, obviously, you know, it could do something to the split shaft, but you know, at least you're not hurting your very expensive transmission. And you know, that's actually very reliable. Split shafts really are. You know, we haven't really had much issue with them in the past. We haven't installed that many of them because most people don't do a split shaft because you can normally add a PTO to it. But these lightweight trucks, you can't just put a PTO directly to the transmission. They don't have the port for it. So we did that just to keep this truck light so that the customer could fill it with stuff, you know, make it very big. Like I said, he uses it for commercial work, so he's going to put a lot of shelving in here, put a lot of accessories and stuff like that in there. So that's why we use the split shaft PTO. But in the future, and actually the very near future, this cabin chassis right here that we've got, this cabin chassis here is going to have a Kubota gasoline engine. And with the Kubota gasoline engine, you know, you're going to get away from running it off of the engine of this truck, and we find that we believe it's going to be very, very reliable, though it will be a little heavier. Since this guy was going so big and want to be able to carry so much, that's why we went split shaft. But the Kubota is going to be offered in a gasoline or a diesel option. That's totally up to you. I kind of like the gasoline engine because it's actually a converted diesel engine to gasoline. And when you're running gasoline through an engine that was actually built for diesel, it's going to be a really durable engine. So, but that's up to you. If you want a Kubota diesel, if you want a Yanmar, it doesn't really matter to me. We'll put it in there. Just let us know. Anyway, we feel like it's going to be a winner. We think that if you get a truck like this, whether it's split shaft PTO driven or Kubota diesel driven or Kubota gasoline driven, it's going to be very, very nice truck. Now, you know, we've got a competitor, what they're putting 2 small engines, one to run the fan and one to run the compressor. We're considering that in the future, but what we're really trying to do is make it ultimately very, very reliable. And we don't look at those engines as being, you know, exceptionally reliable. I know they've gotten better over the years, and I'm sure they're using the best engines that you know, Briggs & Stratton makes, but it's just not the same as a Kubota. It just isn't, and or a split shaft PTO. Anyway, be looking. You know, keep your eye on our website if you're interested in the Kubota. We're going to be building that truck next, so you know, come on back to the website, check it out. Maybe you'll get a chance to see the Kubota in action, and we're just sure that you're going to like it. Now, one of the things with the Kubota, as opposed to this one, there will be, it will draw its air from underneath the truck, and then it'll blow it back that way. And the nice thing is it'll let its air out, and we're gonna try and make sure that the way we do it, you don't have to keep all these doors open. You will probably have to keep the back door where the suction hoses are open, but you're not going to have to keep all these doors open. But let us test it. Let's make sure. Just kind of excited about that. There's a few things. There's another thing that we're kind of excited to see if it works out the way I think it will. We don't even think that you're going to have to open these top doors. I could be wrong about that, but I think once you turn that suction on, if you pull these rubber things out of the way, we believe it's actually going to open the doors. Now, right now it's hard to test because the bags are very porous because they're brand new. But once those bags get dirty, we think it'll open. Now, I could be wrong. So anyway, I just wanted to say that there's a couple of things that we're curious to see how it's going to turn out. But as far as how the truck turned out, it turned out even better than we thought it was going to. And we're excited about it. Sure, you would be happy with either this one or our stainless steel truck. This truck here, we're going to be working on here shortly. It's stainless steel. I mean, obviously we're working on it already. We should be done with it here very soon. And when we get done with it, we're going to make another video so you can get a better idea of what this truck is all about. It has the barrels, but it's definitely PTO driven. You can't have a secondary engine, but it's big. I mean, this truck is just, it's huge on the inside. That one's big, this one's even bigger on the inside. And, you know, very durable, 12 gauge stainless. You know, it's very well made too. I mean, you see a lot of our competitors' trucks are very wavy down the side. You see a lot of ripple. Being 12 gauge, it's very flat. Very nice for putting, you know, signage on and stuff like that. Like I said, it's not done. I mean, you can see the bumper's not done. You don't have the top doors on yet. A lot of the stuff on the inside isn't done yet. But so if you're interested in a truck like this, you know, make sure you come back to our website. We're making a video of this one as well, and we think you'll like that. And, you know, here at Pringles, we're just trying to offer you anything that you might want. You know, if you're looking for something lightweight, under 10,000 pounds, to get the Department of Transportation off your back, or you want to go with a secondary engine, or you want to go with a traditional style with a PTO driven, you know, very heavy duty, stainless steel. You know, let's just say we're trying to answer every question. So if you're asking a question, God, I wish a truck was like this, we're asking those questions too. And we want to make sure that we provide whatever it is that you're looking for. So, like I said, keep coming back to our website because some exciting things are happening here. We're excited, and I'm sure you will be too. And I look forward to answering any questions that you have, because I'm sure you're going to have questions. And when you come up with them, feel free to ask. I'm not a pushy salesman. I don't actually consider myself a salesman. I'm just more of a person there to answer your questions and, you know, and supply you with the best trucks. So anyway, I look forward to hearing from you. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.